Hi, thanks for joining us today at our home offices of Learn Homeopathy Now. I'm Shelley McCorder, owner of Learn Homeopathy Now, and today Willow's joining me. She is the best homeopath in the world.
Thank
in
you.
the whole wide world.
Flattering.
Willow McPherson is in private practice as a homeopath and co-teaches a lot of the seminars that I do at Learn Homeopathy Now. We're finally taking the time today to be with you and answer one of the biggest questions that we're asked over and over again with new students. And I actually have been wanting to do this, for over a year. A year ago, we started a brand new website, a membership program originally for our graduate students in the Bach flower essences, betterwithbachbottles.com. And it was always my intention when we created that site to create this demonstration for you on how to make a combination Bach bottle. So let's take it from the very start, because some of you might not even be familiar with the Bach flower essences.
One thing that I usually like to mention in terms of the Bach flower essences is the power of using a single essence at a time. But oftentimes, you guys want to make a mixture bottle where more than one essence is coming up for maybe a multitude of different symptoms or situations that you're working on. And a mixture bottle is a great way to kind of put more than one, up to 7 or 8 is usually what we suggest in a nice little package. So this is a 1 ounce amber glass mixture bottle. And we usually, over and over again to our students, suggest a specific website of where to get these for quite cheap, actually. And it's specialtybottle.com. Not plural, specialtybottle.com. You can get really great deals on these. And then this is our lovely kit that we run to all the time, our Bach flower essences.
I want to interrupt here and interject, because we might have some brand new students and some brand new viewers that haven't even taken any of our Bach flower courses and used the Bach flower essences. So this particular set was created by the originator of all flower essences, Edward Bach. Now, if we were in Europe, we would pronounce it Edward Bach. So either one is correct. And we go back and forth depending on whether we've been hanging out with a lot of English students or American. And the full set, you can see here, is 38 essences. All of them from nature, directly from nature, from plants, shrubs, trees that grow in the wild, with the exception of one, rock water, which comes from a stream bed. And in our beginning level 1 Bach flower class, I'm holding it up so that you'll be able to associate it with the programs on our Learn Homeopathy Now website. And in our first 3-hour class, it's so cool. You learn the entire system, all 38 essences that can be combined in countless formulas and combinations to, oh my gosh, support you through grief, through loss, disappointment.
Anxiety, sleeplessness.
Both of my sons, who are grown men now, were raised on these, and their graduation presents as they left home was their own Bach flower essence kit. And they've used it to help them study for tests all through college, to help with sleepless nights, certainly to help with heartbreak when relationships transition. The applications are so manifold. We like to use the Bach flower essences along with the homeopathic remedies, and that's why we're so successful. And so, to digress another minute, here at Learn Homeopathy Now, we have 2 different certification programs. We have one in the homeopathy, and the first 6 hours is for personal use. And then more serious students, which turns out to be
a lot,
the majority,
yes,
take the entire certification. And we have about as many hours in the Bach flower essences. And really, the first 3-hour Bach flower essence class covers the entire system and leaves you with an amazing questionnaire. It's about 116
questions.
How long does it usually take your clients to fill that out when they're in your office?
Typically, no more than 5 minutes. It's
Really?
really easy to
That
go
fast?
through.
That fast. I just emailed the questionnaire to one of my students who's a mother so that she could sit down. She's having a lot of bad reports coming back from school, a lot of misbehavior. And I said, let me help you with that. Let me make your son a combination bottle. And so I just sent her the questionnaire digitally. It will help her, talk to her son and ask him how he's feeling about a lot of different things. And then show me very, very clearly the highest scoring essences that we use to make these combination bottles. So now, to back up where Willow was, in talking about the power of a single essence, my graduate students and all of us that have been using these for years love to combine them. And, I always like to remind you, though, that when you find the right essence that you need, maybe just for that day, maybe situationally. As a matter of fact, I'll tell you what I tested myself for. We do self-testing with muscle testing. That's a whole other video that we also hope to do soon. Much more to come. But anyway, this morning I tested. It was really pretty perfect. Wild oat. Wild oat is the life purpose flower. Now I'm in my purpose. Talking to you, I'm in my purpose. I am a crazy lady, determined to tell everyone that I possibly can about these amazing medicines. So I'm in my purpose. However, I have to say, when I ventured out at about 6 this morning, I really didn't know which direction to go in first. I had a lot of different things pressing on me. And the wild oat, just, 2 drops under my tongue, it just focused me. Now that I think about it, I also added in, when I saw that I needed the wild oat, scleranthus for clarity, for certainty.
Yes.
And, boy, we don't go a day. And I can't imagine how anybody lives life without these incredible essences that are available.
And that's a great way to work. I tested this morning for chicory. Actually, I first of all thought I needed chicory, and then I confirmed it through self-muscle testing. And I took a dose. I just put a couple drops directly under my tongue, and then I put some in my water bottle that I carry around and keep refilling. So that's a great way to use a single essence. But in terms of blending more than one, and it could be like we usually suggest up to 7 or 8 into a mixture bottle, there is a very easy way to do it.
So to clarify, when I'm going to take an essence I take whenever I'm teaching and whenever I'm wanting to connect, to really connect. So I'm going to take Star of Bethlehem, you want some?
Sure.
So when we take it directly from the bottle, the best thing to do is just 2 drops straight into your mouth. Now, this reminded me, I'm really glad we did this. Here, have some. Little Star of Bethlehem cocktail here. And by the way, Star of Bethlehem is an amazing essence for one of 2 things. Either to clear past trauma or to just create more connection. I always call it more light, more love, more truth. It just completely connects you right in to feeling the truth that there really is no separation on energetic levels, on spiritual levels. Anyway, I've digressed so much. Let me pull myself back in. The essences are preserved in brandy.
Yes.
And many times people wonder if Willow and I have started drinking at 10 in the morning because it's strong brandy, especially in this particular company that we like to use, Flower Essence Services, here in the United States, out of Nevada. And we love their preparation. The brandy keeps bacteria from growing in the bottle if someone touches the dropper to their tongue. So you want to make sure before you ever dispense or give someone a Bach flower that it's okay with them to have the alcohol. And if not, there are many things you can do. For someone who clearly is avoiding even the taste or smell of alcohol, and many of our students and practitioners are working with people that have addiction, because these are amazing for helping clear addiction and addictive behavior. So it really does become an issue. The thing to do there is just to boil a cup of water and put the essences into the boiling water. The alcohol will evaporate, and
The essence remains.
the essence very much remains in full integrity. So that is how you can take them individually, and I might have chosen 2 or 3 and just put them directly under the tongue. But as soon as you're going to more than one essence, it's really nice to be able to make a combination bottle. And you don't always need to use these little dropper bottles. Many times I just go in and get a good bottle of drinking water. I know I'm speaking to students all over the world now, but here in Southern California, we do not drink tap water.
No.
You know, I was just in Northern California, and they
can.
drink the water
Absolutely.
there. So we're used to constantly having water bottles around, and avoiding the plastic in the water bottles
Yes.
if we can, but having water bottles around. And a lot of times, you know, it's a great way to just send someone off with a remedy, especially a child off to school, by just putting it directly in a water bottle. We've also helped burn victims at the hospital. You know, in California, we do have the wildfires. And I remember taking 6 packs of water into the hospital,
For the
putting
family
the
to drink.
essences into the water bottles.
The nice thing about a mixture bottle is that it does last quite a while. Even if you're taking it 4 or even 6 times a day, it'll still last up to a few weeks. And you don't need to worry about putting any preservative in. In fact, this bottle right here, all that I have is good filtered water. Something that you would be comfortable drinking, quite
Now,
honestly.
talk about questions. You want to talk about the water a
We
little
get
bit?
the question of, can I use distilled water? Should I use spring water, filtered water? Our typical answer is to use spring water or filtered water, drinking water.
Except, sweetie, when we say that, then we have people that like think they have to put on their rubber boots, go hike out into nature, and collect water directly from a running spring.
Not at all.
You know, running spring, and not at all. You know, I'll go so far as to say any water that you would drink is
Yes.
good enough to make a water
Absolutely.
bottle, except distilled. Great for the iron. Distilled water is dead. Don't use distilled water for your
Yes.
combination bottle.
Yeah, not the
Okay?
best. And so I already pre-filled this mixture bottle with good filtered water, and I left a little bit of room so that I can add a few flower essences to this mix. And I'm going to essentially add 4 to 5 drops.
And I'm going to add, because I'm a little more excessive, 5 to 6 drops.
Yes.
Usually 6 or 7. Point being, don't get hung up with energetic medicines.
Yes.
It's not. It doesn't matter. As a matter of fact, if you wanted to give this to a barn full of horses, you could take the same half dropper and put it right into the horse trough.
Yeah. I always say it's more quality than quantity. So it's not how much you take at one time, it's how you take it through the day, the frequency of taking it.
And then it gets even wilder, because when you really understand energy and medicines and how that works, less is actually more. In other words, the more dilute it is,
Yes.
the longer lasting and more potent it can be. So I don't really care whether your water bottle is this big or you're putting it in a gallon jug at work. It's don't worry about that. Now, if I use a large, then I might use more. What was I going to say?
More
Then I
drops.
might use more drops
Yeah.
as well.
Now, there's a few ways to come up with a mixture bottle. Right from the beginning in our level 1 Bach class, which many of you have figured out, is as you read through the essences, you're starting to correlate a lot of, this is perfect for my mom. This is also perfect for my mom. Oh, these 3 are great for me. And you're writing names and you're highlighting and you're starring next
Actually,
to
what we hear
essences.
more often is, "Oh my gosh, I want to give this to my
Yes.
mother-in-law." Not my mother, my mother-in-law.
Right.
We hear that a lot.
And as that happens, that's a great way, if you come up with more than one, a good reason to make a mixture bottle. Then we also give you that fabulous questionnaire that Shelley mentioned in your level 1 notebook. And that's a great way to work on many different levels and address a multitude of symptoms and see which essences come up the highest and prepare them all together. And then
I know I'm going to interrupt. It's really helpful too for Willow as a practitioner. I'm a full-time educator. with Learn Homeopathy Now. Willow has an amazing full-time practice as well, and comes in to assist me in teaching and speaking in many different areas. And so that's why I always love to have her here teaching and talking with me, because she has that whole clinical approach. And think how much time and communication it affords her with each client or patient to gather all this information. And the other thing the questionnaire does is give someone a lot of privacy.
Yes.
To reflect and to highlight or choose issues without having to have a whole conversation. It kind of allows someone privacy.
Definitely. The other thing is, this is going to be up on our Better with Bach Bottles site, and monthly we come out with a new mixture. And you can tailor it exactly to how it's going to fit for you, to how it's going to help others and be benefit for them. And so I'm sitting here with Grief Relief in front of me. It just happens to be the one that we just made up. And if I was to just go with the first 7 listed right here, I'm going to pull these essences and I'm going to make a mixture bottle and start taking it. So I just want to show you what I've done. This is the mixture bottle. It's a 1 ounce amber glass vial. And I filled it with good filtered water, drinking water. And I'm just going to grab a couple essences here. Grabbing scleranthus and wild oak. And I usually put 4 to 5 drops, Shelly, sometimes more. But, these are quite concentrate, actually. And all you need is just a few drops of each one. And one thing I love to mention is to make a label. And you can either put your name on the label and list the essences, or a lot of times I like to just put the positive aspect of it. And you can see we have these really fun labels here. And gratitude, what a great one to put on there. So
hey, that's next month's formula around Thanksgiving time here in the United States.
It is. Gratitude is our next bottle. But I just want you to see, you can make these super fun. I mean, put a ribbon on it, put fun stickers on it, name them a quirky, fun, positive name.
This is a gift I made for, I don't know if you can see it, but it's got little suns on it and butterflies and a nice purple bow. And it was actually for someone who was depressed. But instead of calling it a depression bottle, I nicknamed it, her name was Suzanne, I nicknamed it Susie Sunshine. So there's wonderful ways you can customize the labels as well.
Absolutely. Now, I just mixed up all the essences. I have a mixture bottle. And it's also, the next question we get a lot is, how do I take the mixture bottle?
Wait, I was thinking of another one first.
Okay.
How many essences? And I have to say, when we first learned many years ago and started teaching, we taught, no more than 7 to 9 essences.
Right.
And then we started seeing all these wonderful companies making combination formulas for
14
animals.
in there, 15.
And they do work amazingly with animal behavior issues. And, we realized really you don't have to be concerned about too many.
Right.
On the other hand, if someone has never taken these essences before, and it's the first time they're doing a combination of sorts, it is best not to go in with too many at once.
Yeah.
Then I like to start with 5, 7 at the most.
Yeah.
See what clears, and then some more.
Now, once you have it all mixed together, it's actually quite easy to take, and I think it's limitless in terms of how you can take it. You can't OD, luckily, on these wonderful medicines. And typically what I do is I get about 1/4 of a dropper as a dose. And you can do more, you could do a little bit less, but I usually do about 1/4 dropper directly in the mouth a few times a day, space it out. And then if you carry around a water bottle, if you have a drink that you like to carry, you could put it even in your coffee or your wine if you really even wanted to, or cook with it. You can stick it in anything that you like.
I do want to mention, because most of our students are also using the homeopathy, the Bach flower essences are much more stable,
Yes.
in a sense, than the homeopathics. So with the homeopathics, we're a little bit more of a purist. We teach you to take the homeopathic separate from food. And water, of course, is a great carrier, so water's okay. However, the Bach flowers are much more stable, and that's why we can put them in a bathtub. We can slip them
Anything.
slip them in. Now, it's not like I'm an advocate of slipping, although you did talk about someone today that you thought you might
Yeah.
like to give a remedy to. But I really am just joking. It's really important to get someone's permission and make sure that they're open to receiving this kind of help. So, don't go haywire with, I have really seen people that have so much going on. The first time they do the questionnaire, they test for more of the 38 than not.
Right.
And it's very important.
And probably
then,
rescue remedy
for
too.
someone that's got a lot going on emotionally, we teach you in our classes to choose a few really important ones. Let those clear the situation. So I interrupted you. Do you remember where you were going with that?
Oh, I was just saying, take it a few times a day directly, and you can put it in your bathtub. You could put it in your drinks, something that you're going to sip through the day. So really, it's kind of limitless in terms of how often or how you want to use the mixture bottle once you do use it. No need to refrigerate them. No need to do that at all. They'll stay, even if you forget to take it for a few days and you leave it out. As long as it's not boiling and it's not freezing, the bottle will be good, and it'll last usually. With just spring water or drinking water, it'll last usually up to 4 to 6 weeks. And by that time, quite honestly, you want to see a shift happening, and you're usually ready for a different bottle. You'll see the emotions improve and change and shift.
It's really cool when you redo the questionnaire to see how much has cleared and is no longer an issue. It's great.
It is.
To do a series of it. I thought of something else I wanted to talk about in regards to what you were just saying, but it's slipping my mind. I had hoped to get it back. I want to talk a little bit more about our betterwithbachbottles.com site that Willow mentioned. I originally created it last year when I taught a really amazing 5-week class to all my graduate students on actually the name of the class is Work is Love Made Visible. Very experiential class where we made what I call core mixture bottles for certain issues and all took them together, and they just didn't want to stop. We were working very deeply, very intensely. And these were people that had already taken our Bach Level 3 course about
Our
using them
advanced classes.
for transformation and spiritual growth. So they had a lot of experience. Many of them were clinicians helping other people. And that was when I first created betterwithbachbottles.com. Fast forward, it's a year later, and we have people from all over the world. And I'm not even
really
sure,
great.
I know these are easy to obtain in many, many parts of the world. But it's another reason we wanted to make sure to discuss some of the real particulars about making the combination bottle. And so every month you get a video just like this of me talking to you and telling you about a formula that we customized, a core formula that will usually, and this is grief relief, and that usually has about 7 essences in it, and then a whole other additional list so that you can customize it for each and every person that you're working with. And it's a membership site, and you join, and it's just automatically sent to you every month. So find your way there, and I'll tell you why. If you don't have a kit of the flower essences, it's called the Healing Herbs Kit. And there are coupons on that website. As you join your monthly membership, I give you back your first month's membership fees in a coupon towards the flower essence kit. If things keep going as well as they're going, and I become like Oprah, I would buy everyone on the planet a Healing Herbs Kit. You pick out your different fabric case. There is nothing you could spend your pennies on, your dollars on, than these flower essences. They'll save you a fortune. They'll save you a fortune in many, many different ways of lost sleep, of grief, of sick days, and, spare you years of therapy and give you the healthiest, most productive and creative family you could possibly want. So our level 1 class also has a coupon on the Better with Bach Bottles site. I don't want to confuse you though. All of our trainings, all of our education is on DVD and CD. So it's available to you all over the world. And it's really our primary site, Learn Homeopathy Now, where you're going to find the Bach flower certification training as well as the homeopathy certification training. And there is nothing I'm sure Willow and I would love more than to share what we know with you. I remembered what I wanted to say. I didn't mention it at the beginning of this video, but it isn't just Willow and I here. It's Willow and I and Ronan.
Little Ronan in here.
Who's going to be joining us in March. He's been working with us in the office, but Willow is pregnant. I am not, but Willow is pregnant. And these are totally safe. Totally safe, I promise you, during birth, during pregnancy,
breastfeeding,
and beyond. We've trained so many midwives and doulas and obstetricians, and they're completely safe, which is really fantastic. During pregnancy, when you really want to limit the amount of Western medications that go in and actually change blood chemistry and can cause side effects. So that was one little addition I wanted to get in there. I've also worked with so many animal rescue people, horse people, dog people, kitty people, animal people, obviously. And these work just beautifully on your animals as well. Same course. The same 3-hour course will teach you how to take care of 2-legged, 4-legged. I remember actually giving a Bach flower to a millipede. Did very, very well. So I guess the amount of legs it'll take care of.
It doesn't matter, does it?
Yes. All right, I think we're getting a little feisty. Time to say goodbye. Hope to speak to you soon. Lots of love.
Take care.